Can you feel the Christmas? Good. Everybody's feeling touched, yes? That was beautiful music. Thank you. All of my life, basically, adult life, I have been asked, how in the world can you be a metaphysical Christian? Because metaphysics and Christianity do not match. It's like, but of course they do. So we are going to take the month of December to just feel and remember, and we're going to go over our beliefs. So I was guided to start with the universal Christ. So y'all ready? I'm reading from the Aquarian Gospel. I love this book so much. It validated all the stuff Spirit had given me before I found it. So the stories I was given by Spirit were actually written in writing, so I was just thrilled. When I give it to someone who's new, I always say, just start reading it. Skip the introduction, because the introduction is hard to understand. And Patrick says, no, go right to that introduction. Deep into the ocean. Get in there. You'll understand it. But I want to start with the introduction for just a moment. When we're talking about the universal Christ, it's a consciousness of universality we attribute to God, do we not? And basically nothing else. They're learning more and more factually that our universe is just a minor universe. There's other universes, and beyond that there's more, and oh my God, there's more, and every day there's a new discovery of something. But when we speak of God, we know that God is all of that. God is all that can possibly exist in our consciousness. That's how we define God. Never changing, always is, always. So in this introduction it says, before creation was the Christ and Father, Mother, God, and they walked. And Christ is Son, the only Son begotten by the Almighty God, the God of force and omniscience, God of thought. Christ is God, the God of love. Without the Christ, there was no light. Through Christ, all life was manifest. Remember the first chapter of John? You know, in the beginning was the One. And it talks about the Christ being a part of everything that was created on this earth plane. So we do see that as well in the scriptures. Christ is the logos of infinity. Christ is love, and Christ manifests. The Son is called Christ because the Son, the love, the universal love, was set apart and ordained to be Creator, Lord, and Redeemer of all things. So, now Christ, the universal love, pervades all space of infinity, and so there is no end to love. From the great heart of love, unnumbered spirits were sent forth to demonstrate the height, the depth, the width, and the boundlessness of love. From the Christ, unnumbered spirits. Did you find yourself yet? You're an unnumbered spirit. Okay? We were sent from Christ, from universal love. To every world and star and moon and sun, a master spirit of this love divine was sent. Okay, did you hear that? All right, so therein lies the question, is there a life outside of our little planet? There's life everywhere. Is it outside of our God? No. It's not outside of our God. Got comfort with that one? Okay, take a breath. All right. Here in earth, there were beautiful energies of God consciousness. I'm going to paraphrase. And we came to understand the depth, the breadth, and the space of God awareness. Man, however, became focused on things that he was creating here. Man lost his consciousness of right. He could no longer comprehend the boundlessness of love. He could see nothing but self and the things of self. So we came here, we got focused on our own issues, our own creation, our own stuff that we wanted to create, and we lost our awareness of self. We lost our connection with God. Okay, so let's break down just very simply. You know the Adam and Eve story. Most of you know it's a parable. It's an allegory. It's not a real story. However, it points us to In the Adam and Eve story, they lived in a consciousness that was one with God. Everything was supplied. There was love. They had to do nothing. Does that not feel like maybe we were in the Christ, universal Christ of love? And then they decided to exercise their free will. They decided to do something that this garden that they lived in did not support. They said, we're going to go against this beautiful supply and support, and we're going to do something different. So we had a shift of consciousness to free will expressing without God. When we express without God, we automatically go into a different space. I want to live in the garden where I'm completely supplied and supported. I want to express without God. Do you see? Do you see? It's a shift in consciousness. No one was kicked from the garden. They walked out, bags packed, ready to go. I want to know what it's like to use my will to create. I want to know what it's like. And it wasn't a bad thing. It was a natural thing that children do when they need to grow, when they need to really understand who they are. So we started our journey. We didn't do anything bad. It wasn't the original sin. It wasn't bad on us. It was, let's figure out what we have been given. Let's learn about free will. That was our gift. And let's go use it. So we did. We came, we used it, and we got a little bit caught up in it. We forgot God. So in chapter 68 in the Aquarian, it says this. Jesus says this. He's teaching. This is Jesus talking. Men call me the Christ, and God has recognized the name, but Christ is not a man. The Christ is universal love, and love is king. Christ is universal love. Universal Christ, universal love, of which are you a part? We are a part. Jesus is but man who has been fitted by temptations overcome by trials multiform to be the temple through which the Christ can manifest to men. Don't look at the flesh, he says. It is not king. Look to the Christ within, who shall be formed in every one of you as he is formed in me. The Christ will be formed in every one of you as he is formed in me. Where is our focus? And what does it take for the Christ to be formed within us? Where is our focus? In 59, it gives us a little bit more expression. This is another teacher of Greece teaching. Universal love, of which the sages speak, is Christ. The greatest mystery of all lies in the way that Christ lives in the heart. Christ cannot live in the clammy dens of carnal things. The 7 battles must be fought, the 7 victories won, before the carnal things like fear, self, emotions, and desire are put away. And the 7 battles are your chakras. Root, spleen, my emotional body, how I live in the world, how I love in the world, how I create in the world, how I express in the world, how I see and how I perceive myself in the world. All of these areas of my life have to become purified so that it is not seeking self-gratification. It is not filled with fear. It is not filled with limitation. It is not filled with struggle. It is filled with the knowing that I am universal Christ. I am one with God. Jesus Christ and I are brothers and sisters. I am his sister brother. Do you hear? So, when we have put away the doubt, the fear, and the desire for less than, when this is done, Christ will take possession of the soul, the work is done, and man and God are one. When we have taken all the fear, all the limitation, all the sense of separation out of our perceptions, and we can live knowing I am one with that Christ consciousness. There's a Christ in me. Jesus came to show me. I'm going to let it express. It's flowing through me now, and I am not afraid. I'm not doing anything outside of love. I'm connected with God. Can you see that? When we can do that with in every cell of our body, then we are a fully realized Christ, which is what Jesus was. He was the fully realized Christ, and he said, everything I do, you shall do, and greater. We are all part of this universal Christ. We are all in the process of healing and clearing our consciousness. Spirit said, we can feel the power of pure love when it flows through us, can't we? When that pure love flows through us, we can feel it. But did you know those goosebumps that you get sometimes, or that warmth? That is the Christ in you responding to the power flowing. Because the power flows all the time. But that's your inner Christ going, yes, yes, that's you waking up. Do you hear me? Are you getting goosebumps now? That's you responding, your inner Christ. And this is what we want to do, and understand that we want to move to the space where that Christ light can shine in every chakra. When we feel we are so connected with God. All right. Imagine the energy of the earth when he came. Imagine if we could see a picture of the race consciousness of the earth when Jesus came. And they had been living in a space where they had decided they were separate from God. Everyone on the earth basically felt, all the religions, we are separate from God, therefore we have to sacrifice, we have to do this, God doesn't love us anymore, we're separate from God. Imagine the vibration he had to come through. And imagine what he brought to us. I have seen pictures of the Sahara Desert this past year. Have y'all seen it? The Sahara Desert, which has been a desert for I don't know how many years, has been rained on this past year. And there are green things growing. And I went, oh my God. And when I saw that in my brain, it was like, oh my God, those are ancient seeds that have been underground waiting for the right conditions. And they're growing. Wow. I was so excited because I don't think those seeds just blew in there by the wind, because it was consistent. It was full of green stuff. The desert. How many thousands of years has it been desert? But what stimulated the seeds to grow? A different environment, a different ecological condition. And when Jesus came, that's what he was coming to give us, a different ecological condition, a different condition of consciousness, opening waves of rain for us so that we could breathe in and stimulate the birth of the seed. Stimulate the seed within us. And that was one of the great gifts that he gave us. He brought this beautiful cosmic light through his life. He taught people to do what he did. He was not superhero with the cape. Everything I do, you shall do and greater. He brought this beautiful light to the planet so we could grow the seed. Can you just feel that? Like we were the Sahara Desert. I can't imagine living in a world where his presence, love, and energy is not here. But that's what we were. And he brought that to us. So, and y'all, please look at it, Google it. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Don't know if it's going to rain again next year or not, but it might. That used to be a lush area many, 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 many years ago. So maybe it's going back to lush again. We don't know. But then Spirit reminded me, what also would had to have been done in order for him to thrive? He's coming into this space. He's being born in this space of consciousness of separation. Now he's bringing the light of God, and he's having to permeate this space of consciousness. What would have had to have been done for him to thrive? There had to have been enough spiritual beings open for new. There had to have been sparkles of, let's bring it down, sparkles of people ready to receive. There had to have been enough people ready. Everybody that was going to follow him had to have already been born, most of them. Do you understand? The sages had to already be on the planet because they were older than him. There had to have been a beautiful stage set. And they're holding the light the best they can in the midst of this canopy of darkness. But at his birth, at Christmas, this is why I love the Christmas angels. At his birth, the celestial beings, they did gather. At his birth, the angels gathered. There was a beautiful energy of celebration in the heavens. Truly, truly, this is not just a story. Truly, the vibration of the angelic beings gathered, and they were able to permeate for mankind a space for his soul to come through. And that's why we celebrate those Christmas angels, because they gather every year. Every time we're willing to receive, they gather and they permeate whatever vibration you're walking in. Whatever vibration. So Patrick was watching a show yesterday about what happened in 536 AD. Apparently we were shelved in darkness for 18 months. And they showed a picture of the darkness that was all over half of the globe. And no crops grew, and it was really not very good. So imagine if that was the energy that Jesus came through. What kind of vibration had to come at his birth? What kind of permeating had to be done so that he could be supported? The people were here ready, praying and hoping, and then the divine beings gathered and they started to rain on us. They started to rain on the consciousness of mankind. And all who could receive did. Just like you can be in the middle of a bunch of stuff and you get the goosebumps and the person next to you doesn't. All who could receive did. But there was a divine rain from the celestial. And that heralded his birth, his coming to the planet, and that allowed this vibration of humanity to begin to shift. And what was it beginning to stimulate? But the seed of the universal Christ within each one of us. That beautiful seed of the Christ in us. Okay. So Jesus brought the big rain for all of us, and the angels brought the rain for us to be prepared. The Christ is formed in me when fear and lack and struggle and self-will without God no longer are a part of my world. Anytime you're in fear, guess what? God is no longer a part of your world. Anytime you are struggling, you are not looking at the power of the greater that's within you and around you. Just stop. Stop pulling on the knot. Stop struggling and say, God, I give it to you. I have no answers. And walk away for 5. Walk away for a minute and see what comes. And if it's still a knot, it's still a knot. What's my next step, God? You show me. We want to flow. We don't want to struggle. Self-will without God. I got this, God. I got this, God. I got it, God. Don't worry, I got it, God. Anytime you got it, you're doing the same thing you've already done. You understand that? We've talked about it all the time. Anytime you do it without God, you're doing the same thing you've already done. If you include God, God, I got this. You know what I know, God. Either help me enjoy it to the max better than ever, or show me something new. Help me enjoy something new. Help me enjoy it. Tiny story. My Hazel girl and I made a cake for Thanksgiving. So we're on the pouring and stuff, and I can't, for some reason, I just put too much flour in. It's like we're trying to get it measured and stuff, and it's too much flour went in. And I'm going up. And then Spirit said, Cindy, let it go. Let it go. And so we're mixing it, and we have this moment, and all of a sudden, flour's everywhere. And I went, God, you got it. All that extra flour is all over the place. Do you know? God had us. There was no it was beautiful, it was comical, it was fun. We were doing it together, we were making messes. But do you see? God knew we were going to lose that flour. Get you some extra flour. In some simple way. Simple way. So we can allow the simplicities of the divine to work through us and with us, and the complexities of the divine to work through us, to us. My soul has perfected its journey when it no longer carries within the struggles and the limitations of perception. Because it's all perception, guys. It's how we see it. Struggles of perception and limitations of perception. My soul holds the light of my Christ. And the light of the Christ is about being connected with love. And if we're connected with love, what are we? Are we worried? Are we kind? Are we happy? Are we considerate? We're being a light, aren't we, when we're connected? We're being a light. When you are kind to someone and you are sharing your love, you are not being good. You are being God. When you share your light and your love, you are being God. We don't have to be good peoples anymore. We don't have to be good girls, good boys. We are sharing the light of who I am, and we are being God's. Everything I do, you shall do in greater. In Jesus Teacher Healer, I wanted to share just a few things. We are trying to convey to you all, in our simple words, the power of light of the universal Christ love. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. The I am is the seed of God in man's heart. It is the light. It is the small, still voice which speaks in every human heart. The I am is Christ, the universal spirit of love, which speaks through the hearts of men. In 38, it talks about reincarnation, how we come and go many times to try to unfold our godlike self. With each rebirth, we're presented with fresh opportunities to develop within us a divine and selfless love, which is another term for the Christ within, that we have been coming and coming and coming to learn how to be love in every situation. Every situation. In the Aquarian age, man will become conscious of his real nature. Some of you may feel you've attained knowledge, but it's time to attain the love. We have taken the brain and we're making it expand to its possibilities, and our heart will be following. Intuition will become the language of this age for the ones that choose to follow in the Christ life. All is still free will. If we could look at the sea of energy of race consciousness around us now, it wouldn't be one massive color, would it? It wouldn't be one cloud of one thing. It'd be little clouds, little lights, little clouds, little lights, little clouds. It'd be this beautiful canopy of different energies because we're all in different spaces. We're all in different levels of consciousness and we're all experiencing God differently. But we are all part of God. We all have the inner Christ. We have that divinity within our hearts. If we are animated on the planet, you have God inside you. We're all brothers and sisters, and we are all about the same lesson. Allowing that Christ within us to express. Jesus' first step was to bring an opportunity for rain. Rain for our souls. His last gift was to crack open the door, which we'll talk about next week. All right, let's go within. Father, Mother God, I ask that your light just engulf us. And I ask that the rain flow over us now. Shower us with your beautiful rain of love and peace and light. Fill this room and everyone who hears my words to overflowing with that beautiful essence of divine I am. Feed us. And see a beautiful inner column of light come over you and feel yourself lifted up into that space where you can feel Jesus' energy. Feel his love for you, his love for mankind, and take his hand. You may feel as if you are just now learning to love yourself. You may feel as if you are ready to love the entire earth. Doesn't matter where you are. Let that love of the Christ that Jesus brought, his love, move into you. And as you feel the love that he brings, you feel your oneness with God. Let your heart open. Father, Mother God, we thank you for this beautiful opportunity to become masters on this planet, to walk in your joy. And in your mind's eye, take a breath and send love into your world. Send it to every knot that you're dealing with, everything that has been annoying your spirit, all of your trouble. Divine light fills my body now. Every chakra, every thought. Feel gratitude coming up within you, and let's just send that to the Christmas angels now. Thank you, Christmas angels, for hovering, for joining us, for walking with us, for guiding us. Thank you for canopying this earth as we learn about the divine. Feel their love returning to you. Father, Mother God, bless everyone as they take their place in your heart. And we love you so. Thy will be done. We choose you, God. And so it is. Take a breath. Bring your energy back to your chair. Gently open your eyes. And that, my friends, is step one of metaphysical Christianity. I hope it was a reminder to some, a good foundation to others, and realize that we are so greater than we even know. I'm telling you, when we're done with this planet, we're going to gather and we're going to high-five each other. And we're going to say, good job, man. Good job. Yay, God.